Welcome everyone again to another episode of the Ybor Muta podcast. I am Taylor Durden, and with me is tour guide to the stars, Max Herman.
To the stars.
How are you doing tonight?
Doing great, man. Glad to be here again.
Excellent. So, I like this format that we did where we tell a little tale before we get into just shooting stories and whatnot. So what tales of the underbelly of this town do you have for us tonight?
Always people ask me like the craziest characters that have come and gone, and I mean a wave of them come to me. But one of the more infamous ones that I always talk about is maybe, by all accounts, the very first serial killer of Tampa, Florida.
Okay.
Some of my locals might know the name. Definitely local historians called him the Ybor Firebug. His name was Robert Anderson. You heard of him?
Yeah, it's what, 1911, 1912?
Yeah, early 1900s. Well, 1911. Well, first of all, a little bit about him. He was just a wacko. I mean, a 5'6" black guy that lived in the scrubs of downtown, and he just went crazy and on all accounts decided to just randomly kill people. I mean, the first person that he killed, the body was discovered on Christmas Eve of 1911 by the Hillsborough River.
Whoa.
Less than a month later, 2 more bodies discovered, and then a third one, and they realized, okay, something's going on here because they're all popping up at the same spot. And then things got kind of quiet after that for a while, but an anonymous letter was written to the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Department. Mm-hmm. The only thing we know about it was a black guy writing a letter talking about how he wanted to stop white men from banging black women in Tampa, Florida. I don't know if it was jealousy or purification of race or whatever he wanted, but at the same time he didn't mention anything about the murders, but he did say that if it didn't stop, he was going to burn the city of Tampa to the ground. And he used a man of his word. Yeah. The guy burnt over 100 houses, and he was notorious because he would go to these places in a disguise. His disguise would always be women's clothing with a wig on and sneak into the places, light them ablaze, and go running out. And one witness said it was either a black man in women's clothing or the ugliest woman he'd ever seen in his entire life.
Kind of like a Buffalo Bill.
Dancing around, I'm sure. And he was probably just as crazy. He did actually take down one major place of Ybor City. The original Centro Studiano, burnt it to the ground. And I mean, it was the gathering spot. It was the first social club that had a hospital. It was a very beautiful spot where people would come together and celebrate the Asturiano Spanish heritage, and that really kind of put him on the map. And then after that, he kind of quieted down because I think he probably realized, man, I am really doing some big things here. However, a couple months later, another letter sent to the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Department saying that he was the one that burnt all these places to the ground, and he took responsibility for the murders along the Hillsborough River with that letter.
That's real typical serial killer activity too, because they'll go through what a lot of people call like a berserker mode.
Yeah.
They just go nuts with it. Then they have a cooling down period, and then they'll come out and they can't sit still.
Yeah.
They have to keep doing what they do.
Right.
So they'll have more victims, and then after a while, if you follow like serial killers and stuff, they love to tell on themselves because part of that, ideology is I want to get caught.
The God complex.
Yeah, I want you to know
this and you can't stop it.
Right.
And it did, like I said, went quiet for a while. So I guess after a while he did get antsy, going like, nobody's talking about me anymore.
Yeah.
So after the letter to the Hillsborough County Sheriffs, he decided to go back to what he originally was doing, was just shooting people. He would shoot random people sitting on their porch. He would go and peek into people's living rooms and shoot them right on their couch.
That's crazy.
Even he shot at a mental institution and killed one person at one point too.
Wow.
He was just random people that he was picking.
Now, all these homes that he was burning, were they like homes here in Ybor, or
kind of more the downtown scrub area, where there's mostly an African American presence, and maybe that's the reason why he got away with so much of it, because at the time they're like, who's burning down these African American homes? Nobody really cares. But then after a while, he slipped up. He saw a policeman in broad daylight and tried to shoot at him, but he missed. And at that point, the policeman had gotten a description of the person that was like, shooting.
It's that ugly ass woman over there.
Yeah, exactly, right? So they put together who this person might be, and one day the police saw him hanging out outside of Ybor City, one of the supermarkets here. They questioned him about it, and he played cool, and then he even said, hey, you guys can search me if you want to, and they said, can we search your apartment? When they got to his apartment, after searching it, they found the gun, the bullets, and the wig and dress. They're like, this is our guy. But he ran away, he escaped, and there was a month-long manhunt throughout Florida where everybody in Florida was looking for this firebug because he was obviously off his rocker and very dangerous. They finally captured him in Jacksonville, brought him back down here to Ybor. He was hung by the neck, and over 1,000 people sat around to watch him die because, like I said, this guy was notorious.
Wow, that's crazy.
After the hanging, they took the rope down, chopped it up into little pieces, and gave it out as a souvenir to everybody that was there. If you had a piece of that rope, if anybody out there has a piece of that rope, You just let us know and we'll have you on so we can talk all about it.
I'd love, because I mean, obviously you have something like that, you know the story behind it. Like,
nobody's going to go, Grandpa, why do you have this rope? And he's going to go, don't worry about it. He's going to go, I'll tell you why I have that damn rope. It was Robert Anderson hanging from that rope.
Man, that's crazy that he was burning places down in the scrub. If people don't know, the scrub used to be a predominantly, of course, African-American settlement, if you want to call it, or like a neighborhood.
It was really famous.
That eventually turned into essentially like our own Black Wall Street. Like it was filled with businesses and nightclubs and whatnot. What I mean. And our last bastion of the scrub that we have left is the Jackson boarding house.
Yes,
that's in downtown.
I heard that they're going to be refurbishing very soon. Fingers crossed.
Man, I have. This is such like a close to me topic. I love that house so much. I love everything it represents. We had people.
For those that don't know, tell them about the Jackson.
Yeah, so the Jackson house is a leftover of the scrub. The scrub was basically eradicated during urban renewal. It is now location of the Encore complex. And so the Jackson boarding house was around during like the Jim Crow era. And any performer, any politician, anyone that was African American that came through here for any reason, that was the only place they were allowed to stay.
Well, it was also right across from the Union Station. So like literally you'd get off the train and you could see it because it was kind of risky coming down here as somebody that had a lot to say or some swinging music in the South.
Absolutely. I mean, and we had everyone from Nina Simone, Ray Charles,
Ella Fitzgerald,
Martin Luther King Jr. stayed there, and there has been a cachet of private funds waiting to be used. I mean, we're talking millions of dollars that are just basically being held, waiting to rebuild this place. And a lot of people complain that the city's dragging their feet and all that, but a lot of it boils down to 717 parking will not allow a 10-foot easement in their parking lot that abuts it in order for the city to start work. But apparently they just struck a deal.
Yeah, I heard that too. They struck a deal. We're working something out, which is great. I think they're going to be able to park on that alley next to it. For those of you, by the way, that don't know what we're talking about with the Jackson House, you've seen it. Whether you were driving downtown to Twig Street to beat a case, or you were driving to the Union Station to get on the Amtrak, you've seen it. It is that house that literally looks like if you sneeze next to it, it's going to fall down.
And part of it just collapsed on Tuesday.
Yeah, I heard that too.
Yeah, it's a shame.
Well, at least they're getting on it. But think of all those celebrities that stayed in that place.
So many people stayed in there.
Amazing.
And so I guess thoughts are when they rebuild it, they're going to have like a museum inside.
That'd be great.
I heard talks of like a cafe, rooms to rent, that kind of thing. So,
I just want to make sure it still stands.
Man, it's a very important house to me in this area because it's the last, like I said, it's the last bit of that era that we have, that the Black community has to show just how great that area really was for them. I mean, it was huge. That was such a bustling area.
Oh yeah, I know.
The Scrub is such a cool, to look up, to read about it, everything. It's such a neat place.
You think about all the weirdos that we're going to talk about on the show constantly. It's intriguing because we have such a vast, like a plethora of people that we can talk about that were weird that came through Ybor City. But then you talk about a place like the Jackson House, which had more like prominent celebrities, the upper escalons, if you will, of the Black community staying in there. You know?
Yeah, and they weren't allowed to go anywhere else.
Right? There's the safe haven. You know, what can I say?
Yeah.
Speaking though of celebrities, you know, we were talking about just chatting about last time when we ended our last podcast about some of the people that we've met in Ybor City, and it got me thinking. Like, I've toured a couple pretty famous people. I've met many famous people out here. You see them all the time.
Oh yeah.
This is a place to go hang out and have some fun. And I wondered if you have ever.
Oh man, so many.
Yeah,
so many. A lot of like, a lot of like passing by. Yeah. And then like one time I was walking, enjoying a cigar, just walking down the street, you know, roaming, and I passed by a very specific looking person. You cannot miss this guy. And so I'm walking down the street enjoying my cigar, and then I look and I'm like, wait, are you Jeff Ross?
Yes.
And he had the big like squinty eyed smile.
Yeah, you can't miss that guy. He looks so distinct.
And he was outside of one of the many cigar shops.
I love that.
And I shook his hand. I was like, hey man, welcome to my town.
That's cool.
And he's like, thanks, man. And I just kind of walked off and went on my way.
Yeah, well, with the Improv, which is now the Funny Bone, we've had so many major comedians come this way. Bill Burr has been down here. Tracy Morgan was here. I never got to meet Tracy Morgan or Bill Burr, but you know, these are guys that go on the stage of Centro Español, which is from 1912. It's a cool stage for anybody that has not been inside the Funny Bone. Go check out any comedian.
It really is. It's a cool venue. So, you know, and a lot of people when they come here, a lot of celebrities, because we have such nightlife.
Yeah.
And there's so many cool bars and whatnot. But, you know, a cigar bar is going to be a cigar bar.
Yeah.
A nightclub's pretty much a nightclub.
Right.
A CD bar is a CD bar.
Yeah.
But nowhere else has a place like the Castle.
Right.
And so a lot of these celebrities come through the Castle. Mm-hmm. A good friend of mine, Marcy, she posts up pictures, funny enough, recently in her memories of her and Jay Moore.
Oh, wow.
Jay Moore was there.
Jay Moore.
Steve Guttenberg.
Steve Guttenberg. These are big names, man.
Steve Guttenberg, funny enough, I guess saddled up to a urinal next to one of the managers that was using a urinal, and apparently that man is blessed.
Well, the rumors are true, ladies. The rumors are true about Steve Guttenberg. What can you say? That's hilarious, man. I mean, I've had a couple myself. Speaking of people that you just walk by and see, so this was not long ago. This was when the Buccaneers, when Antonio Brown had his big fit, when he threw everything off and ran away. About a week later, I'm walking in Ybor, and I swear to God, I'm walking by one of the cigar bars. I'm not going to name it, but I'm walking by there, and I happen to see a guy sitting there puffing a cigar, and I stop, just like you. Mm-hmm. I look back, I go, hey man, has anybody ever told you look just like Chad Ochocinco? And he smiled, and I go, you are Chad Ochocinco. I go, what are you doing here, man? You trying out for the Bucks? We need another receiver. He's like, man, I'm just chilling out here, man. He was nice, took a picture with me.
That's cool.
Guy. I told him, I used to have his jersey and all that. He was a talented player.
That's
so it was
really
cool. It was cool to see him just hanging out. And we get that a lot. I mean, we see Cooper out all the time, John Cooper, coach of the Lightning. He loves to frequent Ybor City. He's a cigar guy, so he does hang out here quite a bit. Mm-hmm. I mean, a lot of athletes too. The Lightning players, Bucks players, whatnot.
Oh yeah, you're gonna get that for sure.
Yeah.
I like the ones that are like really out of left field,
like
that just show up. So I went out. One of my favorite guilty pleasure bands is a speed metal band called Dragon Force.
I've heard of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
They're a blast. They're out of the UK.
Yeah.
It's like 3,000 beats per minute. Like it's insane speed metal, but they
talk about stamina. Damn.
Yeah, man, it's a riot. So I went one night to see them when they played at Orpheum when Orpheum was on 7th, and I go see them. My wife was working the door at Boneyard. Boneyard was a really cool dive bar restaurant that we had. I do too.
And that's where we were talking about that one episode. We were like, what do we miss?
Yeah, I miss Boneyard, and that's where I met my wife. Was at Boneyard.
Cool.
In fact, I got one of the pavers. Yeah, and it's out front of the Boneyard location for us for our wedding anniversary. Yeah, but so she was working the door there, and I was like, hey, I'm gonna go see Dragon Force over at Orpheum, and so I'm hanging out and watching the show, and the show ends, and of course we end up at Boneyard.
Yeah, why not?
And so the band is there, they come in, and I'm hanging out and just kind of like in their periphery. Yeah. And I start talking to this one dude, he's their tour manager. And so we start hitting it off, we're joking and all that. And I could tell the band members were extremely bored.
Oh no.
And I'm like, man, you guys want to get out of here? Like, you want to go pick up some, like, I don't know, hot goth chicks or something? And they're like, yes. Please, where can we go? So I get on the phone with the manager at Castle, Robert. I was like, hey, look, I'm coming up with about 5 or 6 people. They're in a band. Can we kind of get like a private access when we get there? He's like, yeah, absolutely.
That's cool.
Yeah, so I show up with Dragon Force.
Skip the line.
Yeah, we walk through Ybor, and we get in there, and we partied our asses off the whole night.
Like literally hanging out with these guys.
Yeah, man, we're all buying each other rounds of drinks and stuff, and they almost get kicked out for being a little bit too raucous, so I had to tell security.
I would expect that from a metal band.
Yeah, absolutely. I had to tell security, I'm like, hey man, they're with me, it's cool. This is, he wasn't sure, he didn't know who they were, so I told him who they are, and he's like, all of a sudden, he's fanboying.
Oh, there you go.
And so I'm partying with these dudes, and I'm getting other security coming up to me, goes, who the hell did you bring in here? Because people are nonstop trying to sneak into the club at this point. Oh, shit. Yeah, they're like trying to come in exit doors and stuff. Like, they're catching people trying to get in here to meet this band. And we end up just having an absolute blast.
That's cool, man.
And then after that, I end up at their tour bus. And that's about all I remember.
Well,
and then
all you want to tell.
Right. My wife, she gets off shift.
Yeah.
And she's looking for me because I was going to ride home with her. And it's probably about 5 o'clock in the morning. And she comes out back, and here I am, still ripping shots with the band. She says at the tour bus, they're chasing chickens.
Because they start crowing by then.
Yeah, and we just had an absolute blast.
I freaking love that.
They came back in town like 7 years later. But it was on like a Tuesday. And so like the tour manager got in touch with me. He's like, hey man, can we party? Can we go to that place again? I was like,
not on a Tuesday,
not Tuesday, man.
Sorry, Charlie.
But yeah,
we do have to sleep here sometimes.
At times.
Tuesday, Monday, Tuesday. That's the best time. If you want a nice quiet walk in Ybor City, go out there on a Monday.
Right.
All right. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we've had all sorts of sightings. Like remember when everyone was posting about seeing John Cena?
Yeah, I was there when he was shooting that stuff.
I don't know how they saw him.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you can't see me. Yeah. John Cena can't see him.
But that video is great if you actually. Like,
I love that video. Actually.
Man, and I love. If you break it down when you watch over and over again, there's all these Easter eggs happening in the background that are coinciding with
what he's saying with his
monologue. It's phenomenal.
No, what they did was fantastic, and I think that was like 2016ish, 2017ish,
something like that. Yeah,
I mean that was a huge hit, and it was all over. It was 4th of July. They were promoting like unity in America. What's the average American look like? And a perfect place to do it, Ybor City, where this was one of the biggest melting pots in America, but it was also Americano to the 10th degree. You know what I mean? Like the people that would come here, even in this club that you're in right now, the Cuban Club, if they were Cuban, yes, but they took English lessons here. They learned social skills. They learned like how does an average American act and how can you assimilate? You know what I mean? So it was like a perfect spot to do it.
Yeah. That's what I really liked about learning about all these social clubs is that they were an assimilation point, but at the same time without forgetting their heritage and celebrating their heritage.
Naturally, you know. They were Americanized Cubans.
Right.
You know, they were Cuban. Well, actually, I would put this better. They were Cuban American. They were Cuban, where they came from. They lived and bred Cuban all day, but they became Americans and they were happy to be here. You know, and honestly, it's kind of it's a nice thing to think about. You know, a nice little way to put American immigration into perspective. People that come this way, I mean, they're coming here with nothing but the shirt on their back, and they're coming here to go. Maybe this American dream is still real, and if I can make it happen, I'll be happy as hell to be here. So
100%.
What can I say?
Yeah.
My end of it, I've toured a lot of these celebrities too.
Oh, cool.
I toured the Weasley twins. If anybody's a Harry Potter fan, the Weasley twins. What are their names? John and Oliver. I want to say their names were the actual actors, but they were so funny, dude. We were chatting about and we were like having a great time. They asked me at one point. I remember they're like, "Do ghosts ever like go into each other?" And I go, "Well, I don't get into their personal life, man. If they want to do that, they can do it." And I got a big laugh out of them there.
We listen and we don't judge.
Exactly. We listen and we don't judge. For my Game of Thrones fans out there, Alfie Allen. For those of you that don't know, he was what was the character's name? His name was Gilroy. Jeez, it's slipping my mind right now. But either way,
that's one that he had to he was told his name got changed.
Right. Yeah. And also, he's famously had his genitals cut off in the show. Yes. I didn't ask him about that, but he was cool as hell, man. He was listening. He was nodding along. He was laughing at the jokes. It was really fun to tour him around, man. It's fun that these people come this way. Who that guy comes from the other side of the world.
Yeah.
All those people that I just mentioned, they come from the other side of the world. They come to Tampa and they're like, well, what do I do here? Oh my God, what's this place called Ybor City? I wish I could have took him out to the castle because God only knows the fun they would have had.
I've taken so many people there.
Oh, I've had like comedians and athletes I've hung out at the castle with and stuff like that. Boy, man, the castle's like the watering hole.
It really is. And I've been a regular there for 25 years right now, and know everybody. And I'm one of those that I'll bring a group. I meet a group of people that I really mesh well with somewhere else. And I'll immediately text Robert. I'm like, hey man, I'm bringing a group of people. I do that quite a bit.
What I love to do is when people visit me from out of town and they're like, look, dude, I've seen a cigar bar and I've seen a brewery. Show me something crazy. I'm like, you guys want to see something crazy?
Hell yeah.
Bring them to the castle. I get them a shot of absinthe and then I hook them on the whipping station and walk away. Let the girls do the rest. And that's it.
I used to, when I would meet somebody at the castle and they would tell me inevitably that it was my first time. This place is great. And so I would always do this celebratory shot with them. And it's a horrible shot.
What is it?
So I called it, it's something I came up with. I call it a Sicilian MFer.
Oh God.
And it's half amaretto, half 151.
Jesus, that's crazy already right there.
It's horrible.
First of all,
it's horrible, but it sets them on the right path to enjoy the rest of their night.
Yeah, because from here it can't get any worse. Shit.
Exactly.
151. I can't remember. I think they use that to clean windows and stuff.
I don't even think you can get 151.
No, I don't know if
this was years ago.
If anybody has it, bring it in.
Yeah, this was years ago.
Yeah, 151. Oh man, but so many crazy stories like that. In this building, I toured something you might be surprised to hear. Wade Boggs.
Yeah.
famous baseball player, Tampa boy.
64 beers on one
flight.
Yeah,
actually, I asked about that. Okay, so Wade Boggs apparently is a medium. He can speak to the dead, apparently, and I didn't know all this, so they did like a private setup where he came into the Cuban Club. I kind of told him some stories of it, and we walked around. First of all, the guy is cool as hell. He is laid back, but I mean, literally, as we were walking around here, you could see his face change here and there in certain rooms. I'm like, maybe this guy really is hearing voices. I don't know. But I did ask him. I go, hey, man, how true is the Always Sunny thing? He goes, all right, so they stretched it a little bit, but I did eat the entire chicken. Attaboy.
Fantastic. Yeah, Wade Boggs was one of those players that, growing up in the 80s, baseball cards were huge.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember my Wade Boggs card.
Right.
Prized possessions, man. I as a kid, I really followed baseball. He was one of my favorite. Him and Nolan Ryan were, of course, the two.
Who can fight.
Yeah.
Nolan Ryan.
Yes.
He not only was a great pitcher, the guy could throw a left hook. Man. That was a pretty good fighter.
That's really cool, though. Wade Boggs, a medium, though.
Yeah, I know. When I first heard that, I was like, okay. I thought maybe he was just trying to be kind of funny.
Right,
no, he was dead serious.
Really?
Yeah, and he was, like I said, he walked around this place, and it was me, him, a couple other people, and he was charming as can be.
No, that's really cool. That's really cool. I'm trying to think, like, who else I would have run it. I mean,
well, Dave Bautista's all around here all the time.
Of course, yeah.
Guardians of the Galaxy, WWE. The guy, first of all, he is hard to miss.
Yeah.
He is a gigantic man.
Yeah.
But I see him on his big Harley going down around here.
I met him when I first started my jiu-jitsu journey. Was at Ybor City Jiu-Jitsu, and I came into class one time, and Joey Best, my professor, he came up. He's like, "Hey, I don't want you to like fanboy or anything. Don't draw any attention, but Dave Bautista's inside training." I was like, "Who?" Because I don't.
Well, if you don't follow wrestling, and then he really hit it big with Guardians of the Galaxy. He's been in a lot of things since then, but like that's when he was like boom on the map because he played that character so well.
Yeah, so. I'm a big fan of his now with his work with rescuing dogs.
Yeah, he actually he does a lot of charity work. He works with Liana Fuente and their charity for dogs, and I mean. The guy is never what's the word I'm looking for? He's never shy to show up for a charity event, which is great. Using his time wisely.
Very cool. Yeah, I mean, this town's just great for that, man. Yeah. There's so many people that come in and out of here.
Yeah, I know. Like the locals, and the cool thing about it too, like the locals, they get this taste of the celebrities that come around here, and they don't go crazy about them.
Right.
I think the shape is cut off.
Just a little technical hiccup.
Yeah, edit that out. Yeah, no worries, man. All right, what I was saying was, like the cool thing about like all the celebrities that come visit Ybor City and enjoy it, the locals here are pretty cool about it. Like they don't really fanboy too much about it. When I worked as an MC at the Improv, I opened for a lot of big names. A lot of funny ones, a lot of great ones. One I really remember is a guy named Steve Byrne. I don't know if you ever heard of him.
I don't think I have.
Asian and Irish, really funny guy. He had his TV show on TBS actually, but he is pretty well known like on the like the side circuits. Like people know him that he did a show or did a movie where he did like I think 13 different stages in one night in New York City. The guy's he's pretty talented. But I mean, we went out after I opened for him and we went to Elmer's. You remember Elmer's?
Oh, yeah.
He wanted to go to Elmer's because he's like, that's the only place that has the golden tee with the ball. So we went there, and I don't play that game, but we were playing there, and he's sitting there flicking the ball and stuff like that. And people are coming up, and they're like, hey, I just want to let you know you're very funny, and that's all I want to say. See you later. And he just goes, yeah, and like get back to flicking the ball. Like it was kind of cool that nobody was like tapping, can I take a picture kind of thing.
Right.
Like I love that locals here. We're all in our own little element here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, and most of us, we are the main characters in our own show.
Yes, that's true.
And so like with my job outside of Ybor, my daily job, I meet a lot of sports people.
Yeah.
Getting custom work done to a car. And I don't know. I don't follow sports. I don't know any of these people.
Yeah.
So when they come in, I'm just like, oh, that's a really big dude.
Yeah.
Hi, how are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, what can I do for you today?
What ball do you play with?
You're right. Yeah. Like we had recently I did a lot of work for the goalie of the Lightning.
Oh, Vasilevsky.
Yes, that guy.
Fan.
Super cool.
Tell him I said hello.
Yeah, super cool guy.
Usually celebrities are pretty down to earth. The one thing that probably drives them crazy is people bothering them when they're like at dinner or with family or something like that. But like if you're in Ybor City, you're not going out to dinner or hanging out with family. You're out here to have some fucking fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what we do here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now let me ask you this: aside from celebrities that you've seen, what major bands? Like what's one concert that you saw here that you're like, dude, that was the best?
Oh man, so So I can right off rip. I know this. It was one of those moments where I went in never hearing the band before.
That's cool.
My wife was a big fan, and she's like, "Hey, I got us tickets to the show at Orpheum."
Yep.
And I had never even heard the name of the band, let alone what they how they perform. And the band was called Baroness.
Oh yeah, I've heard of them.
And they are such a melodic metal. It was one of those concerts where every song was better than the next one.
That's cool.
And I was so enamored.
Falling in love with a band when you see them for the first time. That's amazing.
Oh my God! It's so rare that I get to experience that.
Right.
That I immediately went to the merch table and I was like, "Do you have vinyl for sale?" Cool. And they say, "Yeah, we have all 6 of our albums on vinyl here." I was like, "I'll take all 6 of them."
That's amazing.
I bought all 6 of them.
That's pretty cool.
That show also had another band that I really fell in love with called War on Women.
I don't know that.
It's that all woman like power punk band kind. They're really rad. They had a great merch table, and there was a dude that was standing at the merch table and was obviously giving them gruff.
Oh, really?
He was really kind of just being a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
And this goes back to, my story about how if someone's uncomfortable, especially a woman with a dude being, I'm gonna say something. I'm gonna take care of him. And this guy looks at me, and he was like, "Yeah, you know what I'm talking about, right, brother?" And he opens up his shirt, and he's wearing a Proud Boys shirt underneath. And so I told him, I was like, "Look, here's the deal, bud."
Because what we look like, I get a lot of racist jokes told to me too, and I just look at them and go like, "Hey man, that's not really my style."
Barked up the wrong tree. But I had a lot of friends with me that night too, and I was like, "Look, here's the deal, bud. You're either going to turn that shirt inside out and stay here, or you're going to leave." And he turned his shirt inside out.
This is not the place to be doing
Nobody. And not the people either.
I know Florida itself is red. Ebor's pretty blue. I never judge people.
Not even that, but it's just,
but
not even red or blue. It's just don't be a dickhead.
Yeah, that too.
Don't hate.
That's what I was going to get to. Like, you can vote for whoever you want to, I suppose, but like at the same time, if you're going to be a dick about it, like you see the people that walk around with like the Trump with the 2 middle fingers up and stuff like that, and they're just sitting there smiling at people, going like, "Yeah, say something." I'm just like, that guy wants to get knocked out,
right? You know what I mean? Yeah, just people looking for some sort of reason to justify. It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? And someone just like, you know what? I'm gonna go upset some liberals, and watch them fight. So much for the tolerant left, and fill in the blank anywhere.
I always make it a point to do this. If I ever see somebody arguing with somebody like that, I go to the person that's yelling at the person and go, "Hey, you're not going to change their mind.
Right.
No matter what you say, it's not going to. The people, the guys that sit out front in Centro and scream that we're all going to hell because we didn't accept Christ.
Yes.
I see the people start yelling at him, and I go right up to him. I go, "You think you're going to say something to this guy where he's going to go, you know what? He's right, guys. Pack it up.
Pack it
you
up.
know
We're
what?
done here.
I'm going to go get a drink." No, they're going to just keep throwing whatever pops in their head. They're not even listening to you. They're thinking about their next response.
Yeah, 100%.
So for all you guys out there, next time you see these crazy people like the Black Israelites or the crazy Christians waving the flag saying we're all going to hell, just walk by smiling and live your fucking truth, man.
It's all rage bait.
It's all rage bait.
Every single bit of it. And it's the same on both sides.
Right.
It's just all rage bait.
Oh yeah, I know. There are people on the left that try and trigger people.
Yeah, and I don't bite into it. Right. But man, if you're gonna approach me at a show that's very
on the bandwagon.
Yeah, very obvious not your demographic.
Yeah.
I'm going to say something.
Of course. Man.
Yeah. And that's what, man, it's the beauty of this town. I keep going back to that, but this is such a melting pot. It takes all kinds. I don't want to live in an echo chamber.
No, hell no.
Yeah,
I do. I'm friends with a lot of people that voted opposite than I did. It doesn't matter how you vote, it's who you are deep down. You know what I mean? That's what really matters. Now, if you're going to vote and be a dick about it, then we're going to have a little conversation about it. Or I'm just going to walk away from you and go, not my kind of person. Yeah, not my kind of guy.
Yeah, that's usually, I try to turn a blind eye.
Well, back to the subject of bands. Any other ones that come to your mind?
So let's see here. Man, I've seen so many. I've seen P-Lander Z probably a dozen times.
Yep.
They're always great.
Yeah.
The last time they were here, last time I went to see them was a few years back. My kid was pretty small, and he got drug up on stage.
Oh, that's cool.
I got drug up on stage. I had to wear this big purple rhinoceros head and play the bass guitar and stuff.
Cool,
yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Dang, the kid getting involved is awesome.
Yeah,
I love that.
I've seen so many great shows here,
yeah,
especially at Original Orpheum.
Yeah,
Necromantics is a really fun
Never heard of them.
Yeah, they're like a rock, like a gothabilly.
Okay. Gothabilly, I like that.
Yeah, kind of band. It's a lot of fun. Man,
the Crowbars had a lot of them. Over the years. I saw Max Sabbath there.
Nice. Oh yeah, I was at that show.
I was there too.
Yeah.
Dude,
Max Sabbath so and awesome. Oakley Dokley.
Oakley Dokley, the Ned Flanders band.
Yes.
I had no idea they existed.
Oh, they're amazing.
Oh my! And I grew up a Simpsons kid. Even to the point that I was kind of annoying.
Yeah.
Like I was like, hey, you see on the Simpsons? You see? But like seeing a group go up there, and I didn't know what the hell they were. I just saw Oakley Dokley, whatever. They go up there all dressed like Ned Flanders. I was fanboying. I was like, new fan
I love it.
right here.
I love it.
The music's great too.
Yeah.
But the gimmick itself, fantastic.
I think one of my favorite shows I've seen at Crowbar was Immortal Technique.
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah.
Dude, Crowbar's had some amazing hip hop shows.
Great hip hop shows. I'm wearing my Old Dirty Sundays.
Yeah, there you go. Old Dirty Sundays was my shit. I mean, I'm not much of a break dancer, but it didn't matter. Once you get a couple shots in, you start kind of popping a little bit. You start getting out there. But no, I mean, the other thing about it too is the Old Dirty Sundays vibe was always like, I mean, I knew what I was doing after my tour on Sunday. I'd wrap up my tour and go, see you guys. Like, where you gotta go? I'm heading to Crowbar. I miss Old Dirty Sundays.
I do too, man. I get some food.
Yep.
Because what do you have? Clay Master J. On the grill.
Man, it was always great.
Yeah, man. Going back to what do we miss in this town?
Right. Yeah. Old Dirty Sundays is one of them.
Yeah.
But the hip hop scene that was at Crowbar was actually pretty hot, man. I actually loved a lot of those acts that came in there. Some of my friends have performed on that stage.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of like underground hip hop that I had no idea who was showing. I just was out and about. I'm like, I'm going to go to Crowbar and see. Man. I hear music. Let's see what's playing.
There's a guy named Pusha Preem. He always wears a mask.
Pusha Preem. Yeah.
That's my buddy. I've opened for him a couple times.
Oh, no kidding. I saw him recently, actually. Within the year, maybe?
Probably.
He was there.
He just did Gasparilla Music Festival. He did a couple things. I mean, he was on like one of the warm-up stages. That guy's coming up.
Yeah,
another Tampa boy that's going to represent. I'm sure of it.
I love it.
Yeah, it's cool.
Man, God bless this town.
God,
every time I talk about it, I'm like, I start reminiscing and thinking about, man, all the great times that I've had here.
That's why we're doing this. It started off as just talking crap. Yeah. Like, hey man, remember this, remember that? Like almost like the Chris Farley show. Like, dude, you remember that time?
Yeah.
But it turned into something that's fun, I hope, for everybody that's out there listening to.
I've had so many friends reach out just after the first episode.
Right.
Tell me like, wow, man, talk about a throwback. Yeah. Bringing back so many memories of a cool town. A lot of my friends have moved away.
Right.
And they
probably miss it quite a bit.
Yeah. I moved away for a year and I visited, because flights from Texas to Tampa were like $75. It was cheap. So I was here probably twice a month, even though I moved away.
Out of state, too.
Yeah, and everyone's like, oh, we're never going to see you again. I was like, no, man, I'm here like every other weekend still.
Out of state and still came back to see us. That's awesome.
Yeah, I had to.
Yeah.
I had to.
It grabs you. This place is the Bermuda Triangle, the Bermuda Triangle.
100%.
You get sucked into it and you can't get out.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So, well, do you have anything else tonight?
No, but I want to remind people, send us emails. Reach out to us on Instagram, Bermuda Podcast Instagram if you want to. We've got a couple people that have told us some crazy stories. Yeah. I have to fact check some of them though before I start reading these on because they're wild stories.
And I know people. I will fact check.
Right,
I'll call managers.
We'll get to the bottom of it all. I also want to remind you that we still have a sponsor, Culture Control. They already did their event at the fairgrounds, the flea market flea. It was fantastic, by the way. Cool. And they're gonna have events constantly. If you haven't been to their vintage market or their barbershop, it's on Florida Avenue, just north of Hillsborough, right next to Jug and Bottle. And check their Instagram, Culture Control. They're gonna post all the time when they have their pop-up events. And I'm telling you, you can walk into this vintage shop with $20 in your hand and walk out with some pretty damn cool
I went by there the other day. Yeah. It's a really cool spot.
Really cool spot. Yeah, really unique.
It's very cool. Yeah, so absolutely go to the Instagram, go to the website, ebermudapodcast.com. There's we'll have a player on there so you can listen to the latest episodes. There's a email form you can just write into us. Please reach out.
Even if you're like, hey man, you haven't talked about this crazy person that I know about in history.
Absolutely.
We'd be happy to, because I have a list of about 25 people. But if you pop in one where I'm like, oh, let me look into that, I'm always looking for something cool to learn.
Yeah, so, absolutely, please. Yeah, man, I just want to thank you everyone for coming along on this journey with us so far. This has been an absolute blast already. Yeah. So I can't wait to see where this goes.
Me too, man.
So cool, man.
Another one bites the dust.
Have a great night.
You too.